Are you okay with being a backup quarterback? Hello, I'm Ken Yates from Grace Evangelical Society, and I'd like to answer that question from a spiritual perspective. I'm not an NFL fan. I don't follow it too closely. I'll watch games with friends and family members at times. But I am aware of a situation in the NFL that has developed in recent months. The quarterback last year for the New York Jets was a man by the name of Zach Wilson. And I understand the team didn't do very well, but the New York fans, I guess, are pretty rabid and they want to get back to the Super Bowl. They haven't won a Super Bowl in almost 60 years. And who do you think they blame? They blame Zach Wilson. What I'm told is they think the rest of the team is great. They got a great defense, maybe a great offensive line, great receivers, but the quarterback doesn't measure up. And so the fans of New York City demanded of the owners, hey, if we're going to come and support this team, if we're going to give you our hard-earned money, you got to get us a good quarterback, one that can take us back to the Super Bowl. And, of course, the owners want to do well. They want to make their fans happy. It's a business. So what did they do? They went out and got one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers. And everybody associated with the organization was ecstatic. Here comes Aaron Rodgers. He is going to be the savior. He's going to take them back to the Super Bowl. The pundits were saying the New York Jets are almost a shoo-in with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback to make it back to the promised land. How do you think Zach Wilson felt about all that? You know, he's reading in the papers. He's seeing it on the sports talk shows. Every time he walks down the street, New York City, people are telling him good riddance to you and stuff like that. I mean, I have to think that Zach Wilson felt a little bit bitter. Felt unappreciated. I'm sure that when he played last year, he tried his best. I'm sure he worked hard. I'm sure it's not easy to be the quarterback for any NFL team. And I'm sure that this was rough for him. So what happens? Well, 5 minutes into the first game, Aaron Rodgers, who's a little older, or a lot older, he's been playing a long time, a surefire Hall of Famer, he gets hurt. And it is a season-ending injury, from what I understand, his Achilles heel. And so they cart Aaron Rodgers off of the field, and who do they call upon? There's Zach Wilson over on the sideline, and the coach says, buddy, we need you. And I often wondered, I didn't watch the game, but I wondered what he thought of as he walked out on the field. And all those fans, the tens of thousands of fans that were in the stadium to see Aaron Rodgers and that were glad he was not there, that he wasn't going to be playing, now they need him. And I can imagine he was a little bit bitter. I was imagining as he walked out on the field, he was thinking, yeah, what do you think of me now? Because now the team needs me. Where would you be without me? You know, as I hear that story about Zach Wilson, I'm reminded in the Bible that we as Christians can find ourselves in a similar situation. We can find ourselves in a ministry or in a church where we don't feel appreciated, that the people in the church prefer how others teach or how others exercise their gift more than us. They don't appreciate the things that we do. And we see hints of that in the New Testament. For example, Paul writes to Timothy, he says, Timothy, don't let people despise the fact that you're young. Don't let them look down upon you that they're young. And my guess is that there were people that Timothy was ministering to that preferred older guys. We want the older guys. We don't want you. You can't do it as well as they can. And to the church at Corinth, for example, when Paul talks about spiritual gifts, he says, the eye can't say to the ear, hey, I don't need you. Or, you know, and obviously what that means is there's certain spiritual gifts that the church elevated over others, and they looked down upon the people who had less abilities than other people did. We even see it at Corinth when people would say, well, I prefer Paul. I prefer Apollos. I prefer Peter. And the implication is, if you're not one of those guys and those guys are my favorite, then I'm not really interested in what you have to say or what you are doing in whatever ministry you're doing. Just like I'm sure Zach Wilson was thinking as they cheered on Aaron Rodgers and he was standing on the sideline. Yeah, they prefer Aaron and they don't prefer me. But we can see the importance of Zach Wilson to that team. Now, I obviously don't know what the New York Jets are going to do with Zach Wilson. Maybe they won't do well at all. But Zach Wilson could go into that position thinking, okay, forget it. I'm not going to try hard. You people like him better than me. And that would be wrong. And I hope he goes into that situation saying, no, I'm going to do the best that I can. And certainly that's the way we should be in the church. Whatever gifts we have, we shouldn't compare ourselves to others. It's okay to be the backup quarterback. That's what the Lord makes most of us. He doesn't make most of us stars. And it's okay to serve just the way we are. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd ask that you'd press the like button and that you'd press the subscribe button and get more videos from Grace Evangelical Society. And remember, keep grace in focus.